the March to May.
Yeah. It's also crazy, like Wemby talking about, like, did you see Wemby doing all that math?
No.
Where he's doing math on camera where it was like how many like games versus minutes played. So it's
sure.
If you play the allotted amount of games that you're like supposed to play.
Right, you have to play 60 games.
But you only play 20 minutes, you're only getting to like 1,500 minutes or whatever a season. But if you play 61 games but you play 35 minutes, like you have actually way more time on the floor.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting.
Yeah. I like this Wemby guy, right? Thoughtful dude.
I won my dad over on him, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sold. And I'm like, dude, he's good. He's good for the league, too. Like
he is good for the league, I think. Again, I think dominance does really well, right? And like, I was even looking, like, because WNBA's taken off here, right, in Toronto and stuff. And I don't know, apparently the New York Liberty made, I don't know all these players, but they did it. They're trying to become a super team, right?
Yeah.
And that's good, right? Because it brings just as much love in the city of New York. Then there's hate everywhere else, but ultimately it's attention.
Yeah.
Right? Buffalo Bandits.
Yeah. And that one girl signed like $1 million contract, which was huge.
Yeah, man. And the Toronto Tempo got Kia Nurse.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, man. Signed her today.
Nurse family.
Yeah, buddy. Do you know Roger?
Roger Nurse, the ref?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I know him through lacrosse.
Yeah. So I not a teaching partner, but we worked together when I started.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, he was like he was basketball coach and helped me with being a convener.
Dude, I just watched like a fight on Lax Tillyman or whatever.
Oh my gosh, I feel like it's just all over now.
Yeah, and then it's like Roger Nurse is like the ref and he's just watching it. He's so great. Dude.
Yeah, man.
Incredible.
He was such a good dude. He actually and he taught my nephew. Shout out Roger Nurse.
Shout out.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's go.
All right.
And we're good. Somebody's got to clap.
2.5 minutes in, right?
2.5 minutes in, we're killing it.
This is the coldest warm opening. Or the warmest cold opening? What are we doing? Beautiful. We going to clap it in?
Yeah, I should clap it so I can sync it.
Hey there, sports fans. We're back. It's another episode of Dinner with the Captain. I'm John Dinner, and I'm here as always with Captain Steve Priolo, captain of the National Lacrosse League, Buffalo Bandits, 3-time NLL champions, and third place Buffalo Bandits.
Incredible.
It's been a wild ride. 7 wins in a row. I mean, you guys have been a second-half team all the way through. They were showing some pretty interesting stats of Johnny T's teams in the second half of the season, and it's pretty wild. But can you remember a run like this?
I don't know. Not this good against these opponents, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
it was everybody.
Well, now it's like we're really looking back at the games we dropped, and we're oh my God, we were clear-cut first place if we didn't lose to Philly and I don't know, the Halifax one in overtime and maybe the Ottawa one.
But
yeah. But it is what it is.
It is what it is, and it's got everybody on edge. I don't think anybody really saw this run coming 7 weeks ago when they were sort of starting to put the initials on the grave of the Buffalo Bandits run. Yeah. And man, hold the horses. The fat lady's not singing. Whatever you want to say, it is. We now have, and I'm just looking. 65,536 possible different outcomes depending on what happens this weekend.
That's incredible.
It's a wild number to me.
65,000 different outcomes.
Like, and I understand as soon as one outcome happens, that's probably removes 60,000 of those options, right? But it's a pretty wild number to think that just how close the league is, and this has got to be just something that the league has got to love. There's interest in 12 markets about what's going to happen here.
Yeah, it's especially with Philly, going to be on the move next year. I think it's a good selling point of like, look how tight our league is. Like, you can buy into this league and you have a chance to win.
And I mean, you even look at like this week's opponent. You guys are going to be taking on Oshawa. This is a rematch from the 2024 finals, and now they're sitting there. They're one of the teams that are eliminated in their first season, so they can't be happy about that. But all signals are pointing to like Oshawa is going to be a place where this is going to work, and so the league's got to be feeling pretty good about things. Yeah,
I think so. Like you said, with all those different outcomes, it's kind of funny, man. Like, I guess everybody has the same amount of losses right now, and we're just going off of like who's beating who and how it all.
It's all the tiebreakers, and it's the matchups of who's in this last week.
Dude, watching Saskatchewan play Colorado and them possibly going from first and then dropping to sixth. All
Right.
of a sudden, you're like, whoa, we're going to play Sask in the first round. Like, that's a tough first-round matchup.
And then you see, like, Sask going on this run, like, in that fourth quarter when you think that they should,
Well, they spotted them 7.
Right? Like,
and then they go on the run.
And it's just like, what is that? How does that change everything, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, minute to minute over this weekend coming up. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves because out of all of that excitement, it's still the evil empire, the Buffalo Bandits, sitting at the top. I mean, they're the Thanoses. They are the Darth Vaders. They are, without any sort of apologies, proven once again to be the team to beat here now. Is that how you guys are feeling?
Yeah, and I don't know. It's hard to like put a feeling on the way things are going, right? Because I haven't begun that like reflection period at all, right? It's still moving forward. Like when you said 7 in a row to me there, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize it was 7 in a row. I have no idea what the streaks are and where they are. I just, after each game, I sort of go on and look at the standings and see where we are in the loss column, see who we can catch. Do we have potential at things? And it's like, it's more of like a looking forward thing than it is like a reflection thing, right? So again, like we're set on we have to win this game in Oshawa. They're a good team. They've been in games, right? And it's like I think about them a lot. Like I'm thinking about Philadelphia right now, where it's if Philly played the way that they're playing right now at the beginning of the year, they'd be a playoff contending team.
Well, I mean, they were one of your picks last year after a lot of the moves that they had made as being like the team to watch. And they made the playoffs and they didn't quite have the run that they wanted, but then to take that backslide. And I think a lot of it had to do with the things that were happening and surrounding the franchise and people not knowing, right? Because again, one of the reasons we started this podcast was because it's regular guys, right? These aren't like millionaires that everything's going to be okay, right? Like people were worried about their jobs, their livelihoods. Well, I'm not in Philly anymore. What does this mean for me? And so that's got to weigh so heavily on things. But it was a week where you guys were coming off of probably one of the most complete wins of the season, and you're feeling really good. It was that 6-0. It was that kind of bookend. You lost to Vancouver, but you felt good, and then you get that win against Vancouver emphatically. And we talked about it, that possibility of just that letdown. But it was Roch, which is nice because again, like you said, you've got that like historic rivalry with them. Talk about, and then it was fan appreciation night. There was some individual awards being thrown out. We talk about distractions, but as much as it's distractions, did that sort of help feed the let's try that again. Feed the desire to get out there and really put on a good show.
Yeah, but it is about the fan appreciation night, but it's also about having 19,070 fans in there. Like we were sold out midway through the week, right? So just that volume of people just does so much for you. But it's nice though to have those awards and that recognition. I know some of the guys. I know Vino's like not stoked about it.
Like, hey, guys, I'm supposed to be done, right?
You see, he didn't even take his award at the end. He's like, "Someone come get this. I'm going back into my net to focus." Like he's just he's so locked in. It's incredible. But yeah, it's good, and it's no more of a distraction than Thanos night or all these other nights, and every weekend comes with its own distractions, whether or not you're traveling to San Diego or you're worried about the sunshine, or you're traveling to Sask and you're worried about the cold and you didn't bring a coat and all these different things. So, it's just another thing to sort of like mentally focus through and get ready for that game, because you know that they're coming out hot. You know that Zed wants to just be aggressive and attack. It was nice to see Connor Farrell back in the lineup. Because he was out against Vancouver, right?
Yep.
So we did good against Maxi Adler. Dylan Robinson, huge shout out to him to
you even scored a goal off one of those, but which
is kind of crazy.
Well, like, it kind of showed that. I mean, man, it's just all going Buffalo's way in one sense. Right?
Well, you're thinking about with like Owen Grant and Bowering and Dilksey and Max Adler taking draws, and like the amount of guys they have on the line on their face-off teams, for like the ball to squeak out to a guy that did not win the face-off,
and then a clear break,
and a clear breaker. Like, oh, that's a mental breakdown, but that happens.
And so, I mean, is there some comfort in that when you start feeling like, okay, now the milkman's back, right? We kind of now know how to approach that, like that face-off and that.
Well, you go back on the offensive on the face-offs, right? You can be more aggressive. You can run plays. You can run bench plays. You can have 2 on the offense. With Dylan Robinson going, we kind of went different. So like normally with Connor, we go 3 on the back and 1 in the front. It's like, it's really safe, but it gives us an advantage usually.
He's winning it back. Right?
Yeah. He's going to try to like win it to himself and then try to find an outlet to one of us, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's my job on the line to just block out my guy. Like I'm 1v1 versus my guy on the line. Everything in my power to make sure he doesn't get it.
Right.
And it'd be the same thing with usually it's Dylan Robinson or Cam Wires is doing the same thing. And then Mitch Disnew is free. So he's a rover for loose balls. Like, let that guy off his leash. Go get a loose ball. Go find it. You know, if Farrell wins it to himself, you're the outlet, and then we can all sort of spread from there. The way we did it with Dylan Robinson was do your best to try to win it, but essentially it's Dylan versus Max Adler. Like 1v1, force him to the net if you need to, but you're taking care of him, and we just lock off any outlet passes that. Right. So it's like, don't let Max win it to himself and then get it to Owen Grant or get it to Dilks or get it to any of these guys. So it's still like if you're on the ball team, take care of your man. But then it was nice to let Dylan Robinson just like attack Adler. So but with Connor Farrell back in, we were able to like more or less play with that a bit. We could put 2-3 up. And you know, if we needed a big draw, that's important, especially if you need a timeout, right? We saw that in San Diego. So yeah, big ones.
And so, it was I don't know. Did it feel wire to wire? It felt wire to wire victory. Like,
what do you mean wire to wire?
You guys were just kind of in control.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
we definitely had control of the game. It kind of felt clunky to me a little bit, like not as smooth as the Vancouver game. I think there's a lot more flow to that game. The Roch game was just like, they're so chaotic in their offense that it's hard to get comfortable at any moment. So it's like you always feel like you're on your heels and reading. You're always reacting to them with it. Where with Vancouver, you can be a little more proactive and aggressive on certain situations. With a team like Rochester, and we're going to see with a team like Oshawa, we're going to have to be a little more reactive. Seeing what they're doing. Sometimes they drive that guy through the middle. Sometimes they come across east-west to set picks. Sometimes they pass it low, carry high. Like, they just run all sorts of different looks. So we're going to have to sort of be reading each individual play as it comes. And that never allows you to get comfortable. It never allows you to get in a flow. So I guess that's what kind of makes it feel clunky to me a little bit. But
now, does that explain why? Because one of your commandments is after they score or after you score, like that next shift is the most important shift. And it seemed like they kind of caught you guys a couple times just after you had scored.
Yeah, and then Dane actually came down to our Dane came down to the D end, and he's like that's one of our commandments, right? They don't score off faceoffs, and they don't score when we score. But good job out there. I'm like, why would you say good job, Dane? I'm like, we didn't do a good job. We did a terrible job. And he's like, yeah, you did. I'm like, okay.
I'm just trying to find. Yeah, so their first goal.
That was one that was called back where Dane came down and yelled at us. Like, that was the guy, like, he shot it and it was trickling and then he stepped in the crease. And
right.
You see me right away. I'm like, look at the crease. And then LeBranch is like, I'm not looking at the crease. I'm watching the ball. Yeah. I'm like, well, somebody's got to be watching the guy run through the crease right now. Like, what are we doing? There's three of you out here.
But having said that, that was a little bit fortunate, right? That the ball just slowed up enough to get through that he stepped in there, because had that gone straight in, he's good. He's not stepping in.
I know, but like on some level, like there's three refs out there. Like
you gotta believe
you don't make us waste a flag on that ball. Everybody saw it rolling, and I'm like, okay, blow this down. Like, okay, we'll use a flag, whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, 2 goals of theirs were probably right after like that kind of first shift.
I'm interested in the transition game though. Who won the transition game? I'm not totally sure. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I think like I got one, and I don't know if there was another one really after that.
Yeah, you got one. And I love the call right after your goal by our friend Dave
Buchanan. What did he say?
He was like, Steve Priola, he does it all. Or the captain, coast to coast, does it all. Scores goals, plays defense, hosts a podcast.
Big shout out for the pod.
I gotta love it. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that a lot.
I'm glad I'm back to coast, because for a bit there, I think I was coast to half, and then I was coast to restraining line for a bit for a couple of years there. They were coast to restraining line Priolo.
And so on this one, for this goal, I mean, you hung in there, and then it looked like you were leaving, and then a spin move and let it go.
It was like a 4-man rush, a 4-man odd rush, which is like not great. Yeah. So we had a guy go to the bench. I don't know who it was, and then Josh came on. Mitch was carrying the ball in the middle, and I had a guy ahead of me. So I'm like, in that situation, so I thought Mitch was going to throw me the ball, and then I would go across to Josh.
Yeah.
But he went to Josh, which is more or less, that's the right call, obviously, right? But like Josh had a guy on him, and now I'm in a position of like Josh might shoot this, and there can't be reverse transition coming the other way. So I kind of like held up.
Yeah.
But then there was nobody on me, so you see me stick in the air like yo 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 yo, and then he got it to me. But by the time I was covered, so I spun and shot it, and I think it deflected off a stick and sort of went across. But the way like Hartley went down, like I think I had the entire top of the net to shoot at. So
he was. I mean, I know that he's had an interesting year, to say the least, but that was certainly the most acrobatic.
Dude, he flies around like what?
And so is that him normally? Like, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of.
I don't know, but it's been him as of lately. Like,
yeah,
as of normal, like the last half of the season.
And is that just him just trying to find anything to
maybe
get something going in his direction?
Listen, I would be crazy to think that I could get into the head of a goalie.
Yeah.
Like, good luck, man, trying to figure out what the hell they're doing. But we're fortunate. We got Matt, and he just tells us what we need to do, and that's just perfect. Even though sometimes you're like, I don't know why he wants that, but he does, and he takes care of it. So with Matt, it's like give him what he wants, the shots that he wants to see, and that's perfect. Take away half the net, only give them half the net to shoot at. That's all what it's all about. But with Hartley, it's like you can't take away half the net because he drops so much that like the half the net he's giving up is the top half.
Right.
It's weird. It's like Matt gives up like the left or right, and if he needs to make the save and get over, he can. But Hartley's an up and down player. He's either like up high or he drops low. So,
which to me seems strange because he's a tall dude.
Yeah, he's tall. He's athletic. Like, I don't know if it comes from like a position of flair. There must be frustration on their defense to be like, can you please just stand there and save some of these? Because but when he does save them, when he saves like Josh or whatever, and he pops it and the ball goes flying into the air, like, it does look really cool, but like you only get one of three of those. Like two of them go in. So like,
well, and or now the ball's up in the air and now it's anybody's game again all over again.
Yeah.
Right? Like you did this great save, but now the ball's coming right back into your net.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Instead of just eating it in your crease and going. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm not going to try to judge somebody's play style, but it's interesting that he dropped on that shot. I don't know why, but.
Well, and despite the loss, Rochester still is one of those 65,000 permutations where they've got.
Do they still have a chance?
They still got a chance.
No,
it is.
We must have ended their.
No, man.
Really?
Like, I don't know where it is, but the only teams officially. Oh no, sorry, you are right.
They're done now.
They are done. I guess I must have looked on.
So
maybe it was because of the San Diego win.
Dude, San Diego jumps in front of Vegas because Vegas lost to Philly.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So that's that. I must have looked after because I was only really when I saw you guys go up to third. I didn't end up checking the bottom of the standings. But yeah, when San Diego got past Georgia, that bumped them up and must have eliminated Roch.
Oh, so Sask is ahead of Georgia because Georgia lost to San Diego.
Right. So then they moved up to fifth.
Okay, so Sask dropped to fourth and then move up to fifth.
Yeah.
So right now we're in third. We're playing Georgia.
Yeah. But again, you can't even say it's only if the season.
But they're
ended.
Still a game behind.
Yeah, they have two games, so they've got home and home with I guess
with Rochester.
With Rochester, so I maybe plays in their favor that they're going to get both of those. They got to be feeling. Or Rochester's got to be a little grumpy, but they've got their Native American night, and so that's always brings out, especially this year when you consider the new ownership in Rochester, they're going to be a motivated group, and playing spoiler, right, like keeping them on down. But yeah, so it kind of looks like the top 6 are pretty set, but none of them. I mean,
we're not set in these spots yet.
Yeah, not in any of those spots because it's 12-5, 12-5, 11-6, 11-6, 11-6, 10-6, 8-9, then 7-9, and then 7-9.
Dude, this
Halifax
is the tightest
somehow
I've ever seen it.
Still in it with 10 losses, like to get up to 8-10. And again, and the math and the permutations all exist that kind of everybody has the power, right? Like that was one of the things that I was looking at. Like if Halifax wins, they're not necessarily waiting because of who they play and who they could beat.
Oh, I see. So everybody sort of controls their own destiny,
right?
Like win and bump up the standings.
You got it.
Is there any chance of us getting into second, or is that?
Well,
yeah. So Vancouver needs to lose to Philly.
I think that's who they.
Oh, that's what. So I think at one point it was like, if Vancouver lost to Halifax, they only lost. If Vancouver lost to Halifax, we would have been in like first or something
right
at one point. So
so Vancouver's got Philly,
they have Philly,
and Colorado's got Calgary, right? So you got to think that those are kind of
you'd assume that those
wins.
are locks. So we'll probably end up in third, or if we win, we got to obviously show up. But interesting.
Yeah, wild stuff. So I mean, again, so. You come off a weekend, and I mean, we should take a moment, and I mean, there was those individual awards at the beginning of the game, so let's talk about those guys just for a real quick second. Matt Vince, MVP.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
And so before we even get to that, so this is player's choice, right? Like
so this is our. I'm pretty sure this is our team. I don't know outside of our players who gets a vote, but I know it's at least includes the players vote, right?
And so is this done like sort of like under lock and key and everybody's kind of privately doing it, or are you guys kind of sitting around and talking about it? And
no, it's a survey. It's just a random blank survey.
So everyone just sends you like you got a survey monkey or something like that, and everybody's filling it out.
Yeah.
Do you guys talk about it beforehand?
No. Well, honestly, I forget it even happens, and then Scott Loeffler sends out an email like, "Hey, don't forget to vote."
Yeah.
And
Then,
shit, I haven't voted yet.
Sends you another one. Hey, I really need you to do this.
I think honestly, it was one of the more like, they're all every year. It's like everybody is deserving, right?
Yeah,
so
of course, right?
So it's fine. But I think this is pretty well like all these guys are basically locks.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't like wishy-washy, right? I think.
So what made Matt Vince MVP of the team this year? Just always the MVP of this team?
Yeah, like he's just look at our seasons since he's come here. We've only been to the finals,
right?
So he came in 2019,
but it goes beyond, like, because again, it's a player's choice. It goes beyond then his on-floor performance. What else is he bringing to the team that makes him MVP?
Yeah, we must have talked about this 100 times, but he makes you want to be better at everything you do.
How?
Like he eats right and he does stuff, and he takes his hat off when he sits down at lunch, and he likes to sit in his spot, and he makes sure that everybody knows, like, hey, you didn't do that last time. Why aren't you doing that again? Do that thing. It worked last time. Hey, we lost last time. You did that. Don't do that anymore. Like he's just on guys to just be better, and it's like. And
he obviously does it in a way that is agreeable and acceptable, because I'm sure you've had players.
How do you argue with the guy?
Yeah.
There's no arguing with Matt Vince. Listen, I'm telling you, like, as much as you want to say the world revolves around Dane and the world revolves around these guys, like the world revolves around Matt Vince. It really does.
And how, like, because he's not like a demonstrative guy, and he's not like, so how did, like, what is it about? Just because he's right?
Well, no, because the world revolves around him because he's particular. Yeah. Right? He wants things, he likes things the way they are, and he pokes holes in things that aren't working. So like a big thing is like Scott, I keep talking about Scott, but he'll reach out to us and be like, hey, these are our options for the weekend. Like, which one works best for you guys in terms of like food and travel and bus leaving and this and that and this. And it's like a lot of our responses are like, well, whatever Vino wants. And then Vino will go through it and he'll be like, I think this. And then a lot of times Bucky will chime in and either agree or move things around. And then literally between the two of them, like, you're on board. Like, those guys are paying attention. They're I call them grown-ups, man. Those guys are grown-ups. Like, they're paying attention to all that stuff. But yeah, so Matt he's particular with the way he likes things, and everything is everything the way it needs to be with him. But he lives by what he preaches, right? And he'll never tell you like my way or the highway. He'll never say that. He'll just do things in a way that it's like, oh, I should be doing that.
Yeah, I'll just follow that. That looks like a good idea.
Yeah, man. He's just
and I mean,
he's always drinking water, and he's always just, his meal at lunch is, chicken, rice, and veggies. Like, and you see other guys that have like big plates of pasta with breaded chicken on it, and he'll be like, I'm not doing breaded. I can't do breaded. It has to be grilled. And then it's like, now we're getting, because we used to only get pasta and chicken, and then he's like, we need rice. He's like, we should be having rice instead of pasta. So now we have rice and pasta.
And is he doing this? He's doing this with a smile too, though, right? Like, even no matter what is happening,
for sure, dude,
in his, like, in the games and in the season and whatever else, he's a real positive guy, right?
Well, when things are going positive,
and so
when things are going,
so when at 4-6 was there seemingly
dude, when it was 4-6, he's like, why did I come back? Those words came out of his mouth. Yeah, he's like, why am I not at home with my kids? Yeah, sure. Right. But he's joking. Like, he's never gonna just not show up the way he needs to do. But it's like, it's a matter of like, hey, are we, recognizing, hey, Matt Vince should be at home with his kids, but he came back for us.
Yeah.
2 years now.
Yeah.
This is the second year he's come back for us. Obviously, he probably has personal motivations.
Of course, yeah.
But like, he's come back because we've begged him to friggin' come back every year, right? Like, we already have his retirement gift picked out. Like, we've had his, you got this stuff figured out for 2 years. And you're like, just waiting, right? And it's like, he's coming back. So it's like, don't piss away this opportunity. Like, we need to be dialed. And not to say that we weren't like dialed, or we weren't dialed, but at the beginning of the year, like, it's not to say we weren't trying or anything, but things weren't clicking and things weren't going well. But that's kind of been us, like you said, in the past, is every year you have a different team. So to get people all on the same page and fill holes and this and that, and to get, like, this was as close to the cut line as we've ever seen, though. Right. This was like,
yeah, that weekend, right? It was a big weekend. You got back-to-backs, and you guys came out 2-0.
But like, just goes to show you, like, man, just don't stop believing in your team. Don't stop believing in us. Like, when you have this lineup together, and it's not if you have Matt Vince in net, it's never a rebuild.
Well, and so I think that's a great segue to the next guy, the defensive player of the year, Dr. D, Mitch Desnew.
Mitch Desnew.
And you look at the record with him in the lineup and what he meant to the Bandits this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've talked a lot about him because of his style of play in other places, and even when he was with Buffalo, wasn't necessarily part of the system that you guys are now trying to run, but he's bought in. And so talk a little bit about why he was the defensive player of the year in your mind.
I think he's just such a standout addition to our team. Like, he's that good. You're adding a defensive player of the year to your roster. Like, he is like probably our best defender, right? Like, he's when it comes to that stuff, and he's not to say, like, I we'll probably get there, but it's like, you're probably gonna ask the question of, like, how do I feel about that, losing to Mitch, essentially.
Well, and I was going to ask, was he your vote?
Right? Yes, he is my vote, and it's because you're not going to vote for yourself. So it's like,
So you're not Victor Wembanyama.
Well, he's promoting himself. There's a difference.
Okay, sure. I like that. That's good.
And so it's like, I don't feel less important to the team or like less impactful. I think like that's like a really good word to say to like describe my style is like having an impact on the team. So it's like, in terms of like Matt does, doing things the right way, leading by example, coming up with strategy, like,
So do you take a measure of pride then in seeing how successful Mitch has been coming over to a team and adapting to a new?
Dude, that's such a great way of putting it. I feel really good that Mitch is decided to buy into our system. That means I've done a good job of presentation.
But not just buy in, thrive.
He really is thriving. But if you look at his cause turnovers, they're half of what they were.
Sure. Yeah.
If you look at his loose balls are the same, but his cause turnovers are half of what they used to be in Toronto. So like, I talked about this on Off the Crossbar, where it's like, and his goals are way down. All these stats that are hard to get in our system are in half, because he's decided that it is more important for me to play the system than it is for me to have these stats. And I really, really appreciate that about Mitch. I think that's great. I think he's, it shows that he's bought in. He's blocking a ton of shots too, which is just incredible. Like, I think he blocked a lot in Toronto too, but like, he really is blocking shots. He's playing the bottom of the man down, where he's like, he's our loose ball, like, phenom, right? Yeah. It's like, for a while there, it was like, we're going to basically muck it from 15 seconds if the ball goes in the corner. Like, we're just going to kick this thing around. Yeah. Like, there was a time where it was like Matisse, Paul Dawson, me, and Weiser with a bum knee last year. And it's like, if that ball goes in the corner on that side, like, we need to go in there and just kick it around, because none of us can run it out right now. Like, we might have to kill 20 seconds in this corner. Yeah. But with Mitch, it's different. It's like, okay, like, take your man and let Mitch go get the ball. Like, that's very clear now. But then you're also asking him to play the bottom of the man down, where our style is basically the guy from the top is going to shoot it, and he's going to hit you in the leg. Yeah. And you're going to have a Charlie horse, and you're going to have to eat that for the team. And he's just like, yep, I'll do it. And that just gives me chills to think about that, So again, like, do I wish it was me? No, because I'm glad it's Mitch. But do I think I could win it too? I do. And on some, like, I think I have 4 or 5 of them from the past, and you're just like, yeah, it would be nice to be recognized by your team, because that's the ultimate tester. Like, I care more about getting recognized from our team than I do getting recognized from the league.
Sure.
Because my team knows me.
Yep.
But my team also knows me enough that, like, this is very important to Mitch, to recognize him,
and important to the
in,
culture of the team,
and important to the culture of the team. And that's ultimately like a really good thing. So same with Paulie Dawson winning it last year, right? It's like, was Paulie our best defender last year? Probably not. Honestly, it was probably Justin Martin.
Yeah.
Right. But like, Paulie did all. He brought something to our team that we hadn't had before, and it was just like, well, we had it with Connor and Sweeting, but like, he really took on a role with us, and he changed us, and he was the changing of like our momentum last year. Like, we were not good, and then we add Paul, and then our momentum changed because now we've added that piece, and that's what Mitch Disnew was this year for us. It's like, we're doing terrible, add a piece, swing us back around.
Get healthy.
Yeah. And so again, like, the long story. I know I'm word mumbo jumbo. So I'm trying to work through this, because I am trying to work through it in my head a little bit of like a lot of things creep in. Like, oh God, I'm old and I'm dust. But but I'm just again, like, Matt Vince, Mitch Disnew, awesome choices for MVP and Defensive Player of the Year.
All right, so then Offensive Player of the Year. Again, it feels like you flip a coin when you.
Well, this is where I'm like, wait, why doesn't Dane Smith get the Steve Perillo treatment?
Right.
Like, why can't you choose somebody else? why can't you choose DeHoka? Why can't you choose Clay? Right. You give it to Josh and Dane every time.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like, it's just so clear cut with Matt and obviously Disnew, and now it's everything runs through Dane. Josh can score, he can create, he can throw passes, but like, it still runs through Dane.
Right.
I think everybody would agree it's still Dane's sort of offense, and he has to be our best player. He has to be our best player on our team. He has to be our best offensive player. So, and he is, and he deserves that for sure.
Yeah, and so I mean, I'm imagining Dane votes for Josh and Josh votes for Dane, and then Josh is sitting there being like, I should have voted for somebody else just to maybe make a tie.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea if that. Yeah. I think Dane's won literally Josh won last year, and then Dane won all the years before that. Like, like Vino and Dane, I don't even think really. I think they ultimately treasure those, but they put on the facade of like, me again,
right?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Right. So like, I think it's kind of like both. Like they also think like, really, guys, me again. Like, I know Vino feels that. Vino's like, please don't give me any awards. Like, stop. Like, we haven't given him the belt once this year. Like, guy could win it every game. He doesn't want it.
Yeah. And if you try to give it to him, that's maybe gets awkward in the
change room. Yeah. And he's like, what are you doing? Don't you know that you don't give it to me? Like, okay, whatever, V.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but Vino, if things go in the direction they need to go, that's when Vino gets the belt. Right.
I like that. And then, and I think this is my favorite award, and I like it from the league, but I like it from the team as well. And it's Teammate of the Year. And I think, is this Bucky's fourth straight?
It should be named like
the Kyle Buchanan Award in a couple of years.
Actually, though, like,
I mean, I always threw maybe the Lyle Thompson Award, but I mean now.
Well, but he's not on our team.
Yeah, I meant for the league. Right? But now that I've been closer to the Bandits, right? Because 3 years ago I was a Bandits. I wasn't a Bandits fan.
Dude, when we start retiring, like, this is kind of a random idea, and maybe Scott will listen to this. When we start retiring, like, this sort of core group of guys, maybe we should start naming these awards after guys. Maybe it should be the Kyle Buchanan Teammate of the Year award goes to new guy.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
And again, I mean, because this is going to be, regardless of how this season ends, this has been a historic run for this core group of players, right? Mm-hmm. When you think about 6 finals already, or 5 finals already, it's pretty wild. And then to see this run going on at the end. But so just let's talk a little bit about what Bucky does, because we have talked about it and people are well aware. But Teammate of the Year, what's coming into that when you guys are sitting down to click that button on.
Well, I think mostly because he gets shower towels for everybody. Guy's just a little guy.
Servant leadership. There it is, right?
Dude, yeah. So I actually don't really know when he does it. There's like a certain time that he says like, now this is the day I get towels.
Yeah.
I think it's after shoot around on game days, but like he'll go into the back and he'll come out with 20 towels, and he's just a little guy and they're up, and he just goes to every stall and puts a towel in everybody's stall, and you come in off the floor and you're like, that's nice. It's just nice things like that. Like he's just honestly, he's just always thinking about everybody. He never has controversy on the team. Like sometimes you'll see tension between not personalities, but you'll see tension between like people on the floor or whatever. Yeah. And he seems to never be a part of that, but always part of those solutions. And he's very team focused. And he's the guy that'll call you in the middle of the week, right, and just see how you're doing. It's like, hey, I noticed that you took a ball in the leg. Like, how's that feeling? Like, he's that kind of guy, right? So, again, he's always thinking about other people than himself, and I think that's like just scratches the surface of what that like being the teammate of the year sort of means, right? It's also his play style, like the way he plays. He's very unselfish play style. Never wants the ball, doesn't want the looks. Always thinks about like
he's in there setting picks on 6'5" guys, and then he's slipping, and then he's right,
and he's like, oh, maybe if I go this way and cut through this back door, maybe you'll be open over there.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, when I do this, you got to do this.
You do this because it'll be open for you. I'm gonna go here, and you're gonna be the look.
Yeah, and the guy's like, well, what do you mean?
What do you mean I'm the look? Yeah. So he's just like, again, it's just two examples, but he's just awesome.
Yeah, and so I mean, you look at these core guys, right? So you look at.
I honestly thought I thought Clay might win it. To be honest, I thought Clay. I was like, oh, I wonder how close it was, because Clay is that same sort of thing, but on the lefty side.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, I think he's a little more like dynamic than Kyle, and Kyle's a little more like slippery. But I think he's taking on that role of like, get Josh open, set these hard picks. When Josh isn't open, he's going to throw the backhand to me, and then I can go across the crease. Mickey plays that role too. I thought Clay.
So that was going to be kind of my question, right? Is so like team MVP, you got Vino, and then you've got like Dane, right? Are probably the guys that people are thinking about. But hey, it's Vino, right? Like you said, offensive player of the year, it's Dane, it's Josh, but hey, it's Dane, right? Defensive player of the year. I mean, I'm sure you're always in that conversation. It's been one of the strengths. You got Paul Dawson won it last year. You got Cam Wires doing his thing, and then you got Desnu. So there seems to be maybe not quite as cut and dry, but Desnu sort of rises to the top. With teammate of the year, so you mentioned Scanlon maybe as another guy. Like, who else is kind of in that conversation that's like the 1A or the 1C to when you look at the team? And
I think it could go to so I've always thought about it as like Bucky, and then I thought Clay was in that sort of mix. It really could go to Dane as well.
Yeah.
Dane is that guy. There's a little more tension around Dane though, because everything does flow through him.
Sure.
So if guys aren't getting looks, like ultimately it comes back to him. So, but
does he take that? Does he internalize that when he sees maybe a guy that like, I haven't fed that guy in?
I think so. I think he takes on that sort of like Tom Brady approach of like, I got to get guys the ball in different looks.
Yeah.
But the guy is just the ultimate, like, wants to do whatever's best for the team thing. He also does stuff like,
it doesn't hurt that him doing it is because it's often the best thing for the team.
Yeah.
And do you have to encourage him to do that then sometimes? Like, can you just like?
Oh, sometimes you're like, Dane, please shoot the ball.
Yeah,
you're wide open.
Yeah.
Like, I need you to take it to the net, and like, but like he'll do that stuff too. He's never afraid.
And on the other side, like, okay, I got to start feeding Josh.
Yeah, but this is kind of part of like why he's the offensive player of the year. I think Dane might have won MVP way back, and Vino got like defensive player of the year or something, some weird thing.
Yep. But
there was a point like, so I don't know how much guys want me to talk about this, but again, Vino probably doesn't even listen to this.
That's not part of his routine.
Yeah, it was
not yet.
It was Vino's wife's birthday this past week at some point, and like Dane bought her a birthday gift. Right. And like a nice birthday gift. Like he thought about her and bought a specific thing for her.
Yeah.
And he just does stuff like that. Like he got me a birthday gift one year. I'm like, like, what are you doing? Like, and then, you know, the shoes.
Yeah, we got a future episode in the making here.
Yeah, and like he just gave me his shoes because my nephew thought they were awesome. So he's like, yeah, you want them? Signs his shoes and gives me his shoes.
Unreal.
I'm gonna get him a nice bottle. I already got it, but I'm gonna give him a nice bottle of wine this weekend to just thank him because, like, dude, I'm like, he just does stuff like that. He's so good at just taking care of the people around him. Like, yeah, he's very selfless person.
And I love that, taking care, because that sort of is now the theme of the last game of the regular season, right? It is taking care of business, getting across the line, but it is also a pretty big night, regardless of what the standings and everything else says. This was a game that was marked on the calendars because it's the last game of the Tucker Cup. Mm-hmm. And now I know lots of people know, and we've talked a lot about it, but we've also got lots of now we're growing and people are listening to us for the very first time. Why is the Tucker Cup such a special thing to you and to the Bandits organization?
It's more about anytime you get to do something that raises money for Braver Than Brave, it's important. The cup as like a thing, it's just, I think, just adds to the longevity of everything.
Gonna make sure it happens for
right. Yeah. So every year now we're thinking of Tucker Cup. So we're doing Tucker Cup and we're doing Tucker Nights. So now you've added three. Wait, what would it be? Six games at least.
4 games, and then everybody's doing it. So it's actually, I think there might be 7 games now.
Yeah. Right. So it's like you're just, the more games that we have, the better. The more traction it gets, the better.
And so can you give just, I know you've said it a lot, but what's sort of the history behind this and why this became a thing? And for these 3 franchises. So we've got Buffalo, we've got Vegas, and we've got Oshawa.
Yeah, the reason it's the 3 of us is because Sean Williams and the Williams family was on Buffalo when Tucker passed. And Sean is the head coach of and the GM of Vegas, and his son, Dyson, Tucker's brother, is on Oshawa. So it's like tying the 3 teams together through essentially family. Like when Sean was on our team in Buffalo, like a lot of times he'd break us down with family on 3, right? Yeah. So like he's very tight that way. Once you sort of become part of the Williams family, like they don't let you leave. It's like every time he sees you, it's like the last time he saw you, even though it's been 2 years, 3 years, sure. Right? So he's very tight. They're all very tight that way. So yeah, I think family is super important in this whole mix of things. But yeah, so just sort of, I'm sure there'll be a lot on it. And actually I saw Vegas I was watching the Vegas game against Roch, and their halftime thing was so good when it was talking to all the guys and what it meant to them. And it was Sean and Dyson together, and they really laid it out nicely. So I'm sure you can find that online somewhere, yep. But he lays it out really nice. And so Sean was on our team, and Tucker got sick, and you know, we went through that sort of with him. And then when Tucker passed the following year, we started they started a foundation called Braver Than Brave, because that's what the nurse said to Tucker. He's like, dude, you're being braver than brave, because he was, you know, I wasn't there, but through Sean, he tells you how his spirits were just up the whole time, and how all he wanted to do is go play lacrosse with his friends. So think about that a lot.
So the Braver Than Brave Foundation, right? It's similar in nature to almost like the Ronald McDonald House. So what it is it's just a foundation to support the families that are going through this, so that they can be together, right?
Exactly.
When you talk about Sean Williams wanting your family to be together,
yeah,
that's a big part of what they're doing. And so it's a great opportunity. Lots of times when it's happening in Buffalo, it's a little bit harder for us north of the border to support and figure out how to donate. But now that it's going to be out of Oshawa and stuff like that, it's going to be something that us as Canadian lacrosse fans are going to be able to support a lot more. And so there's still a lacrosse game to be played, and they're eliminated. You guys are jockeying for position and stuff like that, but you've got to imagine that they're really zeroing in on this as their motivation for this game. Is that playing into your guys' motivation for this game, or are we still we've still got, like, it doesn't matter that gone 7-0. We lose this game, we could be all the way down to 6th.
Yeah, I think that's our number one thought is that. But I'm sure JT is going to use it as motivation that the Tucker Cup means something, and it does mean something. Like, that's,
you're defending champs.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't know. We've never lost the Tucker Cup.
Yep.
I think it's only been the 1 year.
Yeah. So this is number 2.
Man, defending champs for the Tucker Cup. But dude, it's actually the sickest cup. It's like all wood and it's carved and
beautiful stuff.
Dude, yeah, it's really sweet. So again, it's like, yeah, I would love to keep that in Buffalo, man.
And so talk a little bit. Oshawa's had a tough season, but they've got some good players. And so what should Banditlands, what are they looking for when they're watching this game or listening to this game or traveling up to Oshawa? We actually got a good group. We got a solid group of Rosso Lake College students. I would say out of the, I think 68 tickets that we've got for that group, I think 30 or 40 of them it's going to be first time being at a lacrosse game.
Oh, nice.
So what are people looking at when they're looking at Oshawa and what they're trying to do on the floor?
So without getting too technical, like, what do you mean? Like in terms of like their play?
Yeah. Like what are you guys planning to try to stop or?
Okay. So defensively, we're looking at Simmons, Kurtz. They're dynamic. They draw a lot of attention. And then when they added, Banesh to them, it's he's kind of that left hand piece that I think they were missing, just that spot shooter. So again, Simmons, Kurtz, both righties. They're going to draw a lot of double teams, a lot of slides, a lot of action that way, and then they're going to try to swing it back to Bucky or to Benny for that outside shot. So again, it's going to be mitigating that. They run in transition, and they have a big goalie. They got Dougie Jameson in net, who's hot and cold. Honestly, he's I think he's one of the better goalies in the league, but like, I don't know what's going on with these with where they're at right now. So like, he must be hot and cold, but like, he's a big goalie that makes a lot of saves. They have kind of an unorthodox defense, man. Like, they kind of force everything up into the middle. So like, there's one clip we were watching to get prepared for the Roch game where it's like, Rubish has, I feel like he has Fieldsy in such a good position, and then Rubish flips his hips and forces Fieldsy to the middle. And then as that pick is coming over, the guy that's setting a pick just stops, so it doesn't allow them to get together, which doesn't allow a switch to happen. And then Fieldsy just stops and shoots the ball, and it goes in. And I'm like, man, that doesn't happen if you just stay where you were. Like, so they kind of have like a weird sort of style that like forces everything up to the middle, whereas like you think about our defense is everything out of the middle. Like, if somebody gets a shot from the middle, there was a massive breakdown. It's all down the lanes and down the side. So I don't know. It's going to be, and I don't know what to expect with the barn either, with the arena. Like, I haven't been there, but everybody says it's awesome, great atmosphere. But I think it holds what, like 6,000? 6,000. So I feel like it's going to be like on top of us. I feel like it's going to be tight and loud. And I know there's an email that went out today that's like, normally we get four like comp tickets. Yeah. It's like we only get 2 this year, because normal places hold, double digits or whatever, right? So it's like only holding that, we only get 2, and basically like they're sold out almost. So
they're almost sold out. I was again
so it's like
talking to the ticket agent people there today, and they're super excited that they're going to general admission as well for the first time. So they're pretty excited. The place is going to be rocking. It is Tucker Cup night. It is the end of the season for Oshawa. So they're going to want to put on a good show for their fans, and it is the start of the second season almost officially. I know you guys have felt like it. You've been playing playoffs now for 2 months, but here it is. It is on your doorstep, and it is time to get going. So it is this Saturday night in Oshawa at the Tribute Community Center. It's going to be an outstanding night. It's going to be a special night with RLC. A shout out to, because this one's gone a long one, so I'm shouting out everyone that's listening while driving down to field lacrosse this weekend, driving all over Southern Ontario. Ontario Minor Field Lacrosse Association's lacrosse season got started last weekend. So if you're listening on that drive, listening to the wisdom of Captain Steve Priolo, and taking the lessons from all those guys that won those individual awards, and then seeing what Buffalo's done over this last 8 months or 8 weeks is pretty impressive. So good luck, Cap. Best of luck. Go Bandits.
Yeah, appreciate you, buddy.
All right, go Bandits.